Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, the way you flow, your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Wow. Welcome, my people, to another edition of DBDS Live. I'm your host, Mel Money, and I'm here with my transformational coach, my DBDS sister, Gianni. How are you feeling today, my sister?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you for having me again. It is beautiful in this Sunday morning.
I hear you, my sister. Listen, you are part of the family. You know, start having some barbecues. You have to come up here. You know, the baby back ribs, you and your husband got to throw down. So I'm glad that you're part of the DBDS family.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So it's been a long week, especially with the George Floyd verdict, in which justice was rightfully served. However, you know, in my humble opinion, we still need police reform in our country because there are still some incidents of innocent brothers and sisters losing their lives. And speaking of that, also rest in peace to Shock G from Digital Underground, who passed away at the age of 57. Damn, another great one we lost. So our condolences and prayers goes out to his loved ones and his family. Anything you want to add, Gianni?
Also, Black Rob, he was another one who passed away, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, too. It's just like, oh, man, it's just so much just overall 2020 into 2021. So, you know, I personally feel like people need to really start understanding the shift that's going on and get more in tune with God.
I agree. Very well said. So it's time to shift gears. And the first announcement is that DBDS Live will now be every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you mark that on your calendar because we want everyone to not miss these gems where we focus on the foundation of personal relationships and not just the surface. Okay. So with that being said, today's show is titled Dating Deal Breakers Part 2, the sequel. All right. What you think about this topic, Gianni?
It's good. It's great. It's something we need to talk about. I think people just need to have an open mind and just be aware, you know.
Yes. Open mind. Absolutely. Got to be flexible. And I can remember when we talked about Dating Deal Breakers Part 1, we talked about traits like unreliability, attracted to drama, and someone trying to change you. So my people, if you haven't seen that show, make sure you go to our announcement section in Facebook, as well as you can go to YouTube and check out that previous show where we was breaking down those characteristics. And also, since we are so focused on healthy relationships, please check out our DBDSsingles.com site. Again, that is DBDSsingles.com. So you can meet someone who has the same values as you. So with our site, it has authentic profiles, so you don't have to worry about being catfish. We have video chat and FaceTime, so you can actually see the person. We have an algorithm based on what you're looking for and so much more. So please check out our site. Again, it is DBDSsingles.com. So thank you for all your support. And before we get started, Gianni, please tell them where they can find your amazing work and anything else you want to share.
So thank you very much, Mel. My name is Gianni.
Yeah.
My name is Gianni. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I am 34 years old. Well, actually, I'm 33 years old. I am a hairdresser. I've been a hairdresser for 10 plus years. I am also a network marketer. And I do a lot of personal development. So if you guys are interested and don't even know what the model business is as far as network marketing and kind of want to know a little bit of background or knowledge of it, I am here to let you guys know. You guys can find me at Gianni_Bansfield on IG or Gianni Bansfield on Facebook. Thanks, Mel.
All right. Not a problem. See, my sister Gianni wears so many different hats. When I start growing some dreads, I'm coming to you so you can do them up, you know?
Oh, you talk about my twist, my 2-strand twist.
Yes. And right now we're live on YouTube. So make sure, my people, hit that subscription button so you can be notified when we drop additional content. So thank you again. So with that being said, it is time to bring our guests into this DBDS Live studio. So you ready, Gianni?
Absolutely. I'm ready to get it started.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. The first one coming into the DBDS Live studio. He is brand new. He is knowledgeable. He is an author. My brother, Eric. Welcome to DBDS Live, brother.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing well. We're doing well. Eric,
Good.
how are you?
Y'all looking good.
I try.
Y'all
Thank
looking
you, brother.
good.
Hey,
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
Well, my name is Eric Legette, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I live in New York, North Carolina, but I will never be claimed by North Carolina. I am from Brooklyn, New York. Okay. And I'm an author. I'm a father. I'm about to be a husband for the second time. My upcoming nuptials will be in August. And my book right now is 10 Warning Signs. Is your date a deadbeat or deadly? And that's on Amazon.com. It's a domestic violence prevention book, and it comes from my working with non-custodial divorced fathers for over 20 years, having real conversations with men. And there were certain conversations I had that I just wasn't comfortable with. So I ended up writing a book because I have 3 daughters. So domestic violence is something that's very, very personal to me, because I don't ever want them to become involved in one. So that's who I am in a nutshell. And you know, thank you so much for inviting me on your wonderful show. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. And thank you for sharing that knowledge and wisdom. And my people, please support him. Make sure you get a copy of his book. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Next one coming to the DBDS Live studio. He's been here before. My man got 72,000 followers on TikTok. He's doing his thing. He's a model, social influencer. My brother, Kenneth. Welcome back to DBDS Live, my man. Oh, mute it.
Bam. Got it.
There we go.
Hey, how's everybody doing this evening?
How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I cannot
Great to have you back, man. Looking great, brother. Looking great.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be back.
Okay. So we have some new viewers. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you from, and why you on the show today.
Hey, my name is Kenneth Jamil. I am originally from Flint, Michigan, born and raised. My family and I now reside in Pontiac. We've been here for about 10 years now, but I would always call Flint as my home. I am a Flintstone through and through. I am a husband, a father, entrepreneur. My wife and I own Anytime Fitness in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So the fitness industry is a little rough right now with the pandemic, but it's making a comeback. So hopefully that'll turn around for us. I am also a manufacturing engineer with General Motors. I have 26 years in with the company. And as my brother stated earlier, I am a social media influencer and a model. Currently working with a Detroit author here, a Detroit stylist here in the city of Detroit by the name of Monty. He has Tayon Fashions, and his line will be featured in Men's Warehouse and Macy's. So looking forward to seeing some advertisements coming from that. So things are going well on all fronts. I really can't complain.
Wow, man, that's amazing, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Brothers, man. You and Eric, man, salute, respect, salute. Whew. And next one coming into the DBDS Live studio, he is my brother, man. He is always sharing his wisdom, his insights on great relationships. My brother, Carl. Welcome back to DBDS Live, my man.
What's going on, Mel? How everybody? How y'all doing?
Fine.
Great, brother. So we have some new viewers. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you from, and why you on the show today.
Name's Carl. I am originally from New York, like my boy Eric, and currently reside in North Carolina. And like him, I don't claim North Carolina. I definitely claim New York. It's just home for right now. But
okay,
I'm a life coach that works with predominantly with men, just teaching them to be kings, as I do with my own 2 sons. And I do work with other people with relationships, just trying to build healthy relationships. So we have healthy communities, partner in a landscape company, Forex trader, dabble in the cryptocurrency market out there. I tell people have multiple streams of income. We got another one launching here shortly. I don't want to say it live or nationally right now, but that will, by the time we next show, I'll be able to say that everything out there is be set in the stone. And I even teach my sons, the entrepreneurship. My oldest son, his sneakers that he's designed are dropping next Friday. Finally taking his pre-orders. My youngest son just got his screen and heat press machine. He's starting to roll off his own t-shirt and hat line. So I practice what I preach, teaching these guys, my sons, let's do this big, work for yourself, be an entrepreneur, and that way they'll be situated, when that queen comes along, they'll be able to take care of their kingdom.
All right, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Woo. Appreciate that. Appreciate the dopeness. Listen, before we even get started and go down to that anonymous post, we have a couple of people saying congrats to Eric and everyone else on the panel.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll have you read that, Carl. So that's from Alicia.
Yeah. Alicia. So she said congrats. And I can't see what's the Ducks user. Somebody said dope.
Okay.
Good topic.
All right. Listen, we haven't even begun. Good topic, but we haven't started. So today's show, with that being said, I noticed with a lot of bad relationships, some people tend to dive in head first when there's only 3 feet of water. And when that occurs, when that occurs, non-sustainable traits are usually the primary focus, whereas the foundation, I feel, should be the primary focus, such as communication, comprehension, mutual respect, mutual efforts, understanding your roles in a relationship, and so much more. And this is why you must have a good filtration process during the dating phase, so you can weed out those who are not compatible with you and gravitate the people who are compatible with you. But before we dive deep into this topic, we do have an anonymous section where people post their thoughts, their issues, and they look for us as the panel to help them guide them in the right direction. So I have my brother Carl read the letter. Take it away, Carl.
DBDS letter. We've been dating for 2 years, and it's been nothing but an emotional roller coaster. I'm 23, and he's 48 years old with no kids. And recently, my boyfriend proposed to me on July last year. And afterwards, he started talking to his ex around September when she reached out to him. When we had arguments, he would constantly threaten to leave me, and then he would go to his ex and talk negative about me. Some of the things he did were horrible. For example, he downloaded Snapchat to his phone when I wasn't home to check her stories and deleted Snapchat app when I was home. He also brought another ex to the house when we were apart for only 1 week because at the time I needed space to finally decide that I'm going to fight for my relationship. When he came back after dealing with his ex, he apologized to me and said, let's have a clean slate and stay engaged. So I decided to forgive him, but due to all of his horrible ways last year, I just can't trust him. He even went as far as blocking her and promised he will never sleep with her again. How can I forget everything? I love him, but I'm too scared to get hurt again. I broke up with my son's daddy just to be with him, but it's just as bad. Can you guys please give me any advice?
Whew. Well, you know what? You came here to reach out to us. So we're going to do everything we can, just as long as you're open-minded, to give you some raw, uncut advice. All right. So listen, I'm going to come to my brother Eric. The sister's reaching out to us. What advice you have for her?
Well, my first advice is self-love is a very important trait to have. And from what I hear from this man, it's a lot of games. The threats of leaving, the passive aggressive behavior, that's not a healthy relationship. And that's the first issue. The second issue is when you have problems in a relationship, the fallback is not going to your ex because that's not going to solve the problem. It's going to intensify the problem. So that's issue number 2. And then I'm also want to know, where are the men in her life to give her a little bit of that male guidance? And what I've learned about men is when they're in these type of relationships, they seem to hone in on women that don't have a lot of male presence in their lives, and especially in domestic violence relationships. I'm not, going to delve into that. And I'll sum it up like this. why would you enter into a permanent relationship with someone where you're not going to have peace? Because in the back of your mind, those stories of him cheating is not going to go away. So you're not ever going to be at peace unless you make that decision to totally forgive. And that's a hard thing to do when your relationship has been compromised. My opinion, you're 23 years old, he's 48, he's playing games. You have your whole life ahead of you. You could do better.
Boom, there it is. Well said, brother. No need to apologize, brother. We have to be raw and uncut. I'm coming to my brother Kenneth. How can we help our sister out, man?
You know, my brother Eric, he had a very good point and gave some really good advice. And I'm looking at it from the age aspect of it as well. I'll be 47 this July, so I'm trying to put. When I first saw the letter, I kind of put myself in those shoes, and I'm like, at 47 years old, and I'm talking to or dating someone or thinking about getting married to someone that is 23, right? What that relationship and what that dynamic is like. And then I also put myself in her shoes. So they've been together for 2 years, which means they crossed paths and she was 21 years old. And I'm sure Gianni can speak to this, but like, what was your mindset at 21 years old? You have so much life ahead of you. You have so much more going for you. I kind of did something similar. I married my first marriage. I got married at 25 and she was 10 years my senior. So I kind of understand the safety and security of having someone that's kind of been through life to kind of help you through. But that age gap was huge. And as I started to learn and discover who I was as I got older, there was more and more things about the relationship that started to stick out to me. And I said, okay, now that I kind of understand and know who I am, which didn't happen for me right away. Right. So at this age, this is prime college years. This is prime dating years. This is when you're trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you're like in a relationship, what you're looking for in a relationship. This is definitely that time and that age frame when you kind of go through all of that, not trying to be locked down to somebody who is obviously already showing you all these red flags as far as downloading apps and deleting apps and bringing people into the place where you live and things of that nature. All these things should be chalked up as learning experiences. And you can kind of look for these kind of red flags as you're going forward. You don't want this relationship to hold you back from moving forward, but you want to learn from this relationship and look for certain behaviors.
Very well said. The age gap is huge. And it sounds like to me, just based off the context of her letter, that he still is living his second childhood mentally, right? So I'm coming to my brother Carl. Man, what advice you have for our sister?
Kenneth and Eric pretty much said everything there. Yeah, that age gap is really funny to me. I know people say when they get older, you got a man that's 70 and a woman who's 45. Nobody says nothing about that at that point in time. But she's also lived an additional 22 years on top of this young lady. She's finished in school. She's experienced life, done things at 45 that a 23-year-old hasn't done. My oldest is 24, and I couldn't even envision dating a girl in my son's age bracket. That wouldn't even. I mean, I look at the women he deals with; they're not even mature enough. I'd say sometimes for my own son, so they definitely wouldn't be mature enough for me. So that's a control issue. I feel like he's a controlling person by the actions, the bad actions that he's shown. He wants to control her. Eric asked the question, where are the men in her lives? Are you, is it a daddy issue? And you're looking at this man, not just as your man, but as your daddy in essence. And he's looking at being able to play the dad role and control you. I would say cut your losses. You're young enough, find somebody closer to you. And in fact, I'll tell you this, take a break, go date yourself, go figure yourself out, go figure your needs out, not your wants. Once change, go figure your needs out, and then find somebody who is compatible, who's able to move forward with where you're trying to go to.
Okay, very well said. And she is currently watching the show. She's giving a thumbs up right there in my text. Very well said. I'm coming to my sister Gianni. How can we help our sister out here?
So everything that the guy said actually is, for the most part, dumbs it up. But for what I have to ask you, that I want you to ask yourself, is ask yourself, do you love yourself? Are you worthy? You know what I mean? Do you appreciate yourself? You got to appreciate yourself first before you think somebody else is going to appreciate you. And you're allowing this man to do this. Like, people don't understand that. Yeah. And I've been in a situation where I've been in an abusive relationship, and he was not extremely older than me, you know, and I get the whole control factor. But now looking back, I put myself there. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the whole thing with the guy thing, yeah, I have men in my life, but I feel like controlling men do cling to women that don't have men around. But all I can say is open your eyes. You're 23 years old. Not that I wish I was 23 again, but I would do things so much differently at 23. Don't let this hinder you, seriously, because there's just so much. There's just so much more. You're growing. You're literally growing. To your 20s is where you find out who you are. Okay. I didn't know that in my 20s. I'm just finding that out now at 34 years old, or 33. I keep adding that 30 days, but I'm just saying, find who you are, live your life, date so-and-so, date this person, say, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, I don't like when you grind your teeth. You know, you got to find what you like, what you don't like. So yeah, that's what I just got to say. Love yourself, love you. It's so important, for real.
Yeah, very well said. And I always state, like, the self-love attracts healthy love, right? I mean, just based on your letter, as you mentioned, it's you mentioned that it's a huge emotional roller coaster, but the majority of your rides are going down. And I believe you dived in head first without allowing to see if this brother is a perfect fit for you. And that is pretty much normal during the dating scene today, because everything is mostly based on instant gratification, which is more than likely to bypass a time to develop a sense of who this person truly is. And when you dive headfirst like that, you are ignoring those sustainable traits. And the reality is, my sister, I mean, Gianni hit it right on the nail. The kind of accountability is very important, because relationships are so reflective, meaning if you don't have respect or realistic standards or non-negotiable traits that you personally follow, then more than likely you will attract those who have no integrity, those who have no respect, those who lack communication. And listen, I'm still just confused to put how you are putting up with this mistreatment with a 48-year-old man who is using Snapchat as a way to do his thing. I mean, it is quite disturbing. So just as Carl stated, you need to take yourself out of the equation. Take the time to date yourself, learn yourself. And I will highly advise you to seek therapy and learn positive transformational language, so that way you can begin to change your mindset. Okay. And so again, thank you for your letter, and hopefully our advice will guide you in the right direction. And before we go to the first topic, have a quick comment, Carl, for one of our
comment. Prep Casey said run.
Okay, now we're going to get going. So the first one, so the first subtopic that we're going to talk about today with dating deal breakers part 2 is allowing your previous bad relationship to affect your present or current relationship. Man, we see this happen so often in today's dating landscape. So let me size this up here. So my thing is that when you're damaged, the first thing you need to do is fix yourself, right? And you have to just realize that it can't be always turning a blind eye to this particular issue. This is a huge bad thing that occurs when you constantly compare your present current situation with somebody that done to you in the past. It makes you bitter. You start resenting people, and you can miss out on a lot of great opportunities with that perfect woman or perfect man that can be compatible with you. So I'm coming to my brother Kenneth. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
You know, this is a very good topic, and it's one that I think a lot of people unknowingly or unintentionally repeat similar cycles because they don't take the time, like Gianni said, to stop, pause, evaluate the situation, right? We are very good at evaluating and looking back over whether it was our work or a job assignment or something like that. But when it comes to something that is very important to us, like our relationships, we don't want to look at that. We want to take that bad relationship, put it on the shelf, and keep on moving on. And unknowingly, we carry that same baggage, those same issues into the next relationship. So whether it was something on your partner's behalf, behaviors, traits, emotional instability, whatever the case may be, or if it was something on your end, right? All those things need to be analyzed and taken a look at so you don't carry them into the next relationship. If you go into the next relationship carrying the hurt and damage of the previous relationship, you're unknowingly setting this relationship up to fail, or you're setting a hurdle for your potential partner to try and climb over, and they're going to constantly be climbing over. There's been many of songs and poems written about feeling like you're paying for the mistakes of someone else, right? Like you're always trying to make up for someone else's mistakes as the new person coming into the relationship. And that is totally unfair. You want to come into the relationship with no baggage, free to love, free to be open. But oftentimes because of a bad relationship, we build walls, we build barriers, we make this person jump through more hoops than the previous person had to jump through. And ultimately, sometimes those individuals don't have the patience to do that. They get tired of trying to climb the walls. They get tired of jumping through hoops. They get tired of trying to meet these new expectations, and you end up pushing those individuals away, both male and female. Men do it just as much as women do it. So this is not gender bias. This is on both behalves. Take a look at it, learn from it, and then go into your next relationship as healthy as possible.
Whew, okay. I like what you said, brother. I mean, listen, we all have some sort of bad experience when it comes to our previous relationships. But what makes a man or woman suitable for a healthy relationship is acknowledging their mistakes or poor choices they made in the past, and they look for ways to rectify it so they can make a better decisions in the present as well as in the future. So I'm coming to my brother Eric. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
It reminds me of, can I share just a quick story? You can't go forward looking backwards. In my neighborhood in Brooklyn, when I was a teenager, there was a blind man that lived in my neighborhood. And he asked me to go shopping with him because the neighborhood people, when he would go and get food, would cheat him out of his money. So my job was to make sure that whatever he was paying for, you know, he was getting the correct amount of money, and he was getting the correct amount of money back. So one day I was walking him down the street, and I turned my head, and all you heard was this ding sound, like you heard from the old Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Oh, he brought it back.
And I hit this pole flush. And he said, "Eric, please tell me that wasn't you that hit that pole, because if it was, I need you to take me back home." Because I'm supposed to be guiding him. So I say all that to say this: you cannot go forward looking backwards. That's just the bottom line. You cannot go forward looking backwards. And my relationships, whenever I had those type of relationships, that ended very quickly, because I'm not one of those guys from the 50s where you fight for somebody. I don't do that. If you make a choice and you want somebody else, my thing is Godspeed. Everything is all good.
Okay, brother.
You gave me a mic drop. Okay, I'll take that.
I love that story, brother. That was very insightful. I'm coming to my brother Carl. You're welcome, brother. What are your thoughts on this topic, Carl?
I mean, whatever relationship you come out of, good or bad, don't allow it to affect your next relationship. And it comes to the word accountability. It comes to the point of what did you do wrong in a relationship? None of us are perfect in a relationship. And too many people come out of relationship, as Kenneth was saying, they get into another one and things like that. And they just kind of put that on the burner, but they never self-reflected. You know, when I came out of my marriage of 20 years, I had to take a look at what I didn't do right. And observe. And once I could do that, then I could move forward. Like Eric said, I didn't have to look back and walk into a pole like Bugs Bunny. I was able to walk forward and do what I had to do at that point in time and heal and do the work so that I didn't repeat that process the next time. I've said it before. If if every one of your relationships continue to end the same way, the only common denominator is you. Literally, you're the only common denominator, nobody else. So what are you not fixing? And so take that time, heal. I'll keep saying it, heal. Date yourself, figure your needs out. Not wants, people. Wants change. You want a Lexus today, you want a BMW tomorrow. Your wants are going to change. You got to know what you need. Need is stability. Need is foundation. And a lot of people don't do that, and they'll jump from relationship, and people go from a bad relationship to another one because they blame the other person for everything, simply because they don't want to be alone. And now they jump into another relationship, and this person's got 10 red flags versus the other one having 5, and they don't see them. They don't see them. So you got to take that time between those relationships. It's like, I'll say this, I laugh at people who post, in a relationship on Facebook. And then I'll be like, let me scroll back a couple of months. In a relationship with this dude. Let me scroll back a few more months before that. So you don't have 5 relationships in 12 months.
Damn.
All I can say is don't jump in my inbox because it's going to be blocked. Because there's something wrong with you if you don't have 5 relationships in 12 months. But people do that, and then they say, and like I said, you'll know when somebody gets out of a relationship. You watch the post; they'll post to start triggering on Facebook. Oh, men ain't this, women ain't this. You'll see it, but then a week later, they in a relationship.
Woo!
What you do?
Can't make something up like that. Trust me. I'm coming to my sister Gianni. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Okay, so allowing your previous bad relationships to affect your present relationship. I've been here actually with my husband. And I had to honestly hear from someone else that I was, I guess, bitter, she called me. And sometimes like when someone, and I say this to like when someone says something to you, don't take it in a negative way. That person probably just sees something in you that you don't see in yourself, that they're like, why are you don't even know that you're acting this way, and like stop before it gets to. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I guess I was bitter and my cousin was like, listen, you have a great person right here. You know what I mean? And you're just allowing what happened to you in your previous relationship affect what's going on. And like Carl said, like Kenneth said, and Eric said, you have to analyze yourself. And I can say I sat back and I analyzed myself and I said, what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And my husband was taking it, but my cousin was the one who was like, what you're doing is not right. Like, it's not cool. So it's okay to go back and analyze. And I feel like that person shouldn't have to deal with what the other person has put you through. And I say that because my husband as well has allowed his situations in his past dictate the way he says and goes about things. And I have to constantly stop him and reassure him, I am not that person. So please do not talk to me like that. Do you know what I mean? And just because you've been, cheated on, or, the dirt you've done and things of that nature, I'm not that. Like, you have to trust me. We have to trust each other, So just don't, because it gets you nowhere. And I could have lost out. You know what I mean? My husband's a great guy, but we both learn from each other. As long as you guys learn from each other, do not look at it like, whatever, you think you know all of that and I know more than you. No, please don't be that I know more than you person, because that I know you more than person is the worst attitude you can possibly have, for real, because you will go nowhere in life if you're I know. No. What was it? I read the other day, the hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I know I wrote it. I put down a note. I feel like a lot of people need to read to that the highest form of ignorance is down to something that you know nothing about. So how about we analyze ourselves and start and other people? That's it.
Yeah, that's nothing but facts as well. I mean, you're right. You do got to analyze yourself, because as I stated, listen, if you're damaged, then you need to fix yourself. Because if you don't, then you will accumulate negative baggage that renders you unattractive, and then it will be hard to receive a loving relationship until you dump that negative baggage. Because the reality is, no healthy person wants to be with someone who's accustomed to dysfunctional blocks, because they know that those dysfunctional blocks will just build a weak foundation, and you won't get a chance to grow. You won't get a chance to be at peace mentally, emotionally, spiritually, until you analyze yourself, as everyone stated. So if you continue to allow your past to affect your present, trust me, a healthy person is going to run in the opposite direction. All right. So now it's time to pivot to our next subtopic. And the next subtopic that we're going to touch on, which is very important in the dating scene today. Now, and the brothers were demanding this topic, showing inconsideration for his masculine drive. Man, so brothers, we're going to talk about it. All right. So let me size this up for my sisters out there. A man who likes to lead may see this as an issue, because if you're way too independent to the point that you feel that you don't need a man, or you want to feel superior to a man, then you will miss out on a good brother who has a genuine interest to take care of you in some form or fashion. All right. So I'm coming to my brother Carl. We're not scared to talk about any topic. I'm going to come to you, Carl. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Woo, they need to buckle their seatbelts.
Woo!
I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to use real live examples of what's been said. And this is things that will run off a man who really wants to do things the right way. I've been out and we've gone to open the door or a car door and been told I can get that myself. I've asked, hey, you want to go, I'll go ahead and help you out. Get your car detailed. It needs to be detailed. All right, what are you trying to say? I can't afford it. I don't need you for that. This and this and this. I'm just keeping it real. These are comments that are coming from women, and you're just like, I'm just trying to be a gentleman. You go out to eat and it's like, I'll pay for my half. Don't worry about it. I don't need to tell me what side of the menu to order on. I didn't even say anything about it. This is real life. And this is what we're dealing with. And I say this way, you can be an independent but feminine woman. If you are an independent masculine woman, no man wants to come home and sleep with another dude. I'm sorry. No, if you're a man, you're not trying to come home and be with another man. Just keeping it real. And so it's unfortunate that I agree there have been a lot of women who have had to take the reins and do a lot of things and raise their children because there's not been a man in the house and different things like that. But you have to know when to step back. It's like this whole alpha female, alpha male. If the word alpha is coexisting, it's not going to work because alpha means to lead. Both can't lead. You cannot, there's an order within the household the way it's set up. And if you're dealing with two alphas, it's not going to work. You better go find you a beta man. And even at some point in time for him, he's going to walk away because he's going to get tired of getting walked all over. So you can be independent and feminine. And trust me, an independent feminine woman, I'm going to Jared's for. I'm just telling you now. Go pick what you want, and I'm going to go to Jared's. If you're independent and masculine, go to the barbershop and get you a haircut, hang out with the homeboys. That's all I got to say.
Oh. Next one I'm coming is to my brother Kenneth. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Okay. You know, it's interesting. I am raising I have two little ones. My son is 6 and my daughter Janae is 4. And I am raising her to be self-sufficient, right? She is going to know how to change her own oil. She's going to know how to paint her room. She's going to know how to cook. She's going to know how to use power tools. So I am, and it's the same thing for my son. My son gets to sit and watch me cook. He gets to sit and watch me clean the house. He gets to sit and watch me vacuum. So there are no necessarily quote unquote gender chores in my household. My wife and I, we share those responsibilities. So our kids can not only learn from us, but they can see how a marriage is supposed to have an ebb and flow. There are times when I want to cut the grass. There are times when my wife wants to get out there and cut the grass. I think she's figured out that I'm just out there riding on my lawnmower to get a break. And she's kind of like, hey, I see what you're doing. I need that hour and a half myself. Right. Okay. But there's also things that fall on my shoulders and it's my responsibility. Like my brother was saying, things like getting up and starting the cars in the morning, brushing the snow off here in Michigan, washing cars, stuff like that. Right. So I understand the independent woman. I understand trying to you're doing everything for yourself. So I don't need you to do something for me. So I get where that comes from. And oddly enough, it takes a strong man to step into that relationship and say, I understand you can do it. It's a difference between needing someone to do it and wanting someone to do it. Right? When she wants you to do it, that is something different than I need you to pay my bills. I need you to take me to get my hair done. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You're looking for a partner to help you get from point A to point B. Right? I understand when she says she's got her own. But you know what, baby? I like it when you open my door. I can go buy for myself, but you know what, baby? When you pick up the tab, that hits me a little bit differently, right? So it's a difference between need and want. And you can express that as a female, right? I got my own job. If I've seen a lot of posts about if she's paying $2,000 in rent and she's paying this in her car note and she's paying, she don't necessarily need you. It's that she wants you, right? Understand what you're walking into. And so there are some men that have a hard time. If you was to flip that, if she is a provider like that and she's working, for one of Fortune 500 companies and he's working at, say, Lowe's or something like that, that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different topic, right?
Right.
But yeah, just understand that it's okay to tell a man that you don't necessarily need him, but please let him know that you want him.
Ooh, okay. Hey. We are dropping some nuggets today. Man, this is hot. I'm coming to my brother Eric. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Well, I'd like to share another story. if any of you guys watch the show Power with 50 Cent, the character
Gianni,
Ghost.
look at Gianni.
Yeah, the character Ghost, was trying to get out of the game. He was trying to legitimize himself. So he opened up this beautiful club that's a real club that's in New York City. And he was doing very well with it. So he's telling his wife, who they grew up together, they started making all this money as drug dealers. And he's like, look, I'm trying to get out. I'm using this club. I want to try to get out. She puts on her bravado dress and like, oh, you're Ghost. And you're the man, and we the kings of New York, so on and so forth. So he walks out, of course, disappointed. Guess who he runs into in the club? His old girlfriend from high school. And she's like, Ghost, I'm so proud. Not Ghost, she was calling him by his real name. I'm so proud of you. You can do it, so on and so forth. And I called my friend. I said, man, he'll be sleeping with her by the 3rd episode.
Oh.
And that's ended up what happened. Now, I'm not condoning cheating, but he gave that man what he needed to hear when he needed to hear it.
Mm.
You understand? So what a lot of women have to understand is allow a man to be a man. I get it. You make $80,000 a year. You climbed up the corporate ladder, so on and so forth. And I've had conversations with professional women about this, and I would always use the question or ask the question: you're making 80,000, he's making 35,000. You go out on your first date. Who pays for the date? I do. No, you don't. Just because he's still working, he works. He just is not making as much as you. And you got to allow a man to be a man. You understand? And I don't know why that's such a struggle today. I don't get it. I'm a little baffled by it. I see a lot of these, like Brother Carl said, I see a lot of these posts on Facebook, and it's very, very disturbing, because it's like being a man now is like a sin. I don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. So you gotta allow a man to be a man. When you take that away from him, you're only dating a body, because you've taken away his soul.
Whoa. Damn. All right. Yeah, now it's time to get it from a woman's perspective. I'm coming to my sister Gianni. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
It's like, no, I don't know. I know. It's not that I don't know. So I'm just trying to come out. I was raised, like Kenneth said, my mom taught me how to change my tires. She taught me how to change my oil. I don't need a man for nothing. And that's not disrespecting my husband. But my mom, like, I have that attitude. I don't need you for anything. Do I want you? Absolutely. I want you. And I don't, like, my husband gets upset sometimes because he goes, I'll take out the trash. For what? I'll take out the trash. Who cares? It's trash. It's not that serious to me. You know what I mean? But I get it. A man wants to be a man. And I've always let a man be a man. I'm never going to tell some man, you ain't going over there. He's going to do it regardless. So why try to stop hindering him? You know what I mean? Or just anything of that sense. I just don't. I think that's something I've learned too from just older people around me, is just like, always let a man be a man, because regardless of what he's gonna do, what he wants to do anyways. And I'm not gonna say this. I'm gonna say this off the air, but so I forget. I'll say it now. Is it true though? Like a majority of men are all dogs. You just gotta find one you know how to deal with.
You know what? We're gonna go around the horn, because we only got 10 minutes left. So I'll come to my brother Carl and I'll have him answer that question. Right. What
was the question again? Replay it again. Gianni,
the question was all men are dogs. You just need to know how to you just got to find the one you know how to deal with. Wow. And I'm not saying dogs as far as cheating wise, but that's something that was said to me growing up. So it was just like, all men have their own issues. You just got to find the one you know how to deal with.
I think that's it's a valid statement. And I think that it goes back and forth. You have to find somebody you're compatible with. You know, there's a saying, every pot has a lid. So if you're a 2-quart, 4-quart, 6-quart, 8 Dutch oven, you can't be a 2-quart trying to cover a Dutch oven. So you know, so that's just keeping it real. You got to find somebody you're compatible with. You have to find somebody who has enough that their shortcomings are enough that you can deal with those, that you can deal with that man's shortcomings, but he possesses everything else that you need. If he can give you what you need, and you can overcome his shortcomings, you're on your way.
Very well said.
That's awesome. I just feel like people need to hear that. Go ahead.
Okay. And before we go to my brother Eric for his quick response on your question, Gianni, we have a quick comment from Nicole. Go ahead, Carl.
all human beings have their own issues. That's true.
Yeah.
True, Nicole.
Facts. All right. So I'm coming to my brother Eric to answer Gianni's question. I mean,
Well, brother
all-
Carl, you could have put a period at the end of his sentence because that he said it all. We all have issues. None of us are perfect, you know, and it's about compatibility. I give you a quick example. I don't consider it an issue, but some people do. I'm very laid back. Okay. And some women mistake that as a sign of weakness, but that's not it. That's just my temperament. Okay. Whereas with my fiance, she has a lot more energy, but she loves the fact that I balance her out and she balances me out. So it probably wouldn't have worked with someone else. So it's about finding someone that says, "Hey, I know you have issues, but I love A, B, C, D, and E." Okay, and when you can meet someone that says, "I love the way you love me. I'm gonna love you the way you want to be loved," and we'll work on our individual issues together. That's when you know you found someone that's worth investing time in.
Okay. Very well said, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna come to my brother Kenneth. If you want to do a brief answer to Gianni's question.
Yeah, I'll try my best to keep this as brief as possible. You know, Disney has sold a lot of people on the fairy tale relationship and the fairy tale marriage and the fairy tale situation. And everybody is looking for that Prince Charming, that Snow White, that Cinderella. And it's just not the case. Like the panel has said, everyone has issues. I think not only understanding what your issues are, but being with someone who is open and honest, and you have open and honest communication about those issues. Don't hide and put on your best face for me, and then 2-3 months down the road you go, oh, by the way, these are my issues, right? That I think that's where people have the problem, is when someone is trying to hide their issues. Have an open and honest conversation, have an open and honest relationship to where it's a safe place for people to express their issues and their concerns and things of that nature, and you'll be just fine. But if you go into a relationship expecting the white drawn horse and carriage and riding off into the sunset, that is just not, that's not real life. People argue, they have disagreements, they have issues, they have things that go on, and I would think most of our family structures have shown us that there are stuff that have issues, and those families that last and make it is the ones that can address and talk about those issues and accept those, not necessarily accept, right, but they can deal with those issues. So just be realistic in your expectations.
Very well said, Kenneth. We actually have a call from one of our viewers. Thank you for calling DBDS Live. State your name, and do you have a question or a comment?
My name is Penny Lopez, and I got I think a comment, Benny, to the same question.
Sure, brother. Go ahead.
About the you know, based on the topic, you know, like I forgot exactly what it was. I misread it. I think it's just about I guess red flags. I guess or what would it not be allowed in a relationship?
Yes, sir.
Like okay, signs like that. What deal breakers? Like for me, for instance, I think a deal breaker would be miscommunication, not being able to communicate properly with the person I'm trying to communicate with, if I'm dating or married with. But most likely in the dating area, you know. I think communication is very important because you know, if it comes down to making common grounds and compromising, the compromise should be two people would be comfortable in making a decision together as a couple if they want to further their relationship, if they want to get into one, for not further into waste each other's time, you know.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you calling in, Freddie. You know, need to come back on. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
All right. So All right. So, Gianni, the brothers have answered your question. Anything else you want to add before we take one last commercial break? Then we have to come back to our Jerry Springer moment.
Oh no, I just felt like it was something I just felt like it was something that I did it purposely for someone to hear that. So that's it.
Oh, love it. That's what we do. Teach, learn, and live. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our final thoughts for today's show. This is DBDS Live. Sit tight, my people.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSsingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up today at DBDSsingles.com. Let's make love and loyalty dope again.
Hey, welcome back to DBDS Live. I'm here with my brother Carl, my brother Eric, my brother Kenneth, and my DBDS sister Gianni, and it's been nothing but golden nuggets. And if you missed this episode, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to our DBDS Live channel. And also this show will be in our announcement section in our DBDS group. So tell a friend, tell your relative, join our group. We have already reached over the 7,000 mark. So we appreciate everyone's love and support. Yes, and later on, we will have this loaded up on our DBDS podcast called dbdslistenup.podbean.com. I'll put it right on the screen. That's dbdslistenup.podbean.com. So you can get these golden nuggets, okay? And with that being said, that's right. It is time for our Jerry Springer moment. And the first one I'm coming to is my brother Kenneth. One of your final thoughts for today's show.
You know, this is a wonderful topic, and we only got through 2 out of the 4, but the 2, just refresh anybody's memory, was allowing a previous bad relationship to affect the present and showing inconsiderate for a man in his masculine drive. And we're talking about dating, and we're talking about red flags, and we're talking about finding that potential soulmate and things of that nature. I think a lot of times people rush. Just slow down, right? Just slow things down. Take your time. I don't want to date myself, but just old-fashioned courting, right? Getting to know somebody and talking to somebody and unplugging, right? Getting off the phone and actually, now that people are, getting their shots and stuff like that, and we can actually get out and go see and meet and talk and things of that nature. Just try and connect with somebody. And if that friendship develops into something more, great. If it doesn't, you date somebody else, and you just kind of date with a purpose of trying to find the right person and without a whole bunch of expectations, and everything will work itself out.
Very well said. And actually, to the brothers out there, this may actually work in your favor, because if you court, they may find it unique, especially in this instant gratification generation. Oh, wow, he took me to the museum. Wow, that's unusual, so that may even work in your favor. Coming to my brother Eric, what are your final thoughts for today's show?
Self-love. I think that's where it all begins and ends. And when I hear a lot of these stories, and when I read a lot of things on Facebook, it's about how much do you love yourself to either put up with disrespect or not put up with disrespect. So the barometer is, how much do you love yourself? This has nothing to do with anyone else. This has to do with you as an individual. And if you don't love yourself enough, then you're going to put up with a lot. And I had to learn that after several bad relationships. And I had to have a real conversation with myself to say, okay, are you making these decisions because you don't want to be alone? I had to sit down and do a whole lot of self-evaluation. And once I did my self-evaluation, it all boiled down to self-love. I wasn't loving myself at that particular time. And I think people knew it. You understand? People can pick up on those types of things. So what I would say to anyone, love yourself. enough to not want to put up with disrespect.
Absolutely. Very well said. And before we go to call, tell them again the name of your book and where they can find it.
It's 10 Warning Signs. Is your date a deadbeat or deadly? And it's available on Amazon.com. And I've partnered with a wonderful company called ticketsatwork.com. And anyone who purchases my book will become a member. It gives discounts on movies, car rentals, hotels, just about anything you could think of. And just email me and just, send me an email at fatherswithvoices@gmail.com and just let me know that you purchased the book, and then we'll just go from there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you sharing that.
All right.
And I'm coming to my brother Carl. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
Again, outstanding topic. We didn't get through everything, the subtopics, but it's hard, when you're really dealing with real life stuff. And how many times are we going to allow our past to affect our future? Our past is our past for a reason. An X is an X for a reason. Learn from it and move forward. That's one of the biggest things I'll tell people. Learn from it, move forward, and heal. Healing never stops. It never stops. The one thing a red flag for me is when somebody tells me they're healed. That's a red flag, because healing never stops. It's a consistent thing that you have to go through day in and day out, because that means that you have gotten to your pinnacle and you're stopped your growth. Okay, I'm healed. It doesn't, because the moment that there's a trigger, whether it's a post, something on TV, whatever, and you respond to that in that way, you show that you're really not fully healed. So take that time and heal between your relationships. Stop. I tell people like this, and stop posting that you're in a relationship. Everybody don't even know. Everybody don't even know, because everybody ain't happy for you. Because as soon as you post you're in a relationship, everybody else is in your DM trying to get with you that didn't try. Now you got a guy in your DM, a female in your DM. Stop posting it. You ain't got to post you in a relationship. Post you engaged and ended at that point in time. You don't date in secrecy where people don't know you're not dating, but they don't even know you're in a relationship, because nobody want to know you in 5 relationships in 12 months.
Oh,
that man that wants you ain't gonna want you no more.
I normally don't do this during the final moments, but I'm coming to my transformational coach, Gianni. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
So my final thoughts on today's show is basically knowing time is our most precious commodity. Time invested is wise. It is not about time you put in to determine your future. It is about what you put into the hours into determining your future. So meaning just really put in your all if you want something, how can I say, if you want a relationship to blossom, if you want something to grow, if you want, you have to plant the seed first. People, like Mel says always, it's instant gratification for people nowadays. No, it's called plant the seed and it will grow. You know what I mean? When you sit here and you invest into your relationship, and if it's something that you really, really want to work and move forward to, and you guys are both on the same accord, it will go somewhere. So just believe in God. That's the main thing, is putting God first, waking up every day and being grateful. I think a lot of people do not have gratitude, and that's why a lot of things are being taken away from us, is because we're not grateful every day throughout our days. So just move forward, thank God, and blessings to all.
Yeah, very well said. When you do good in the universe, it'll bless you. But when you do bad, it'll curse you. All right. And before I provide you with my final thoughts, I just want to thank this amazing panel. Kenneth, Eric, Carl, you as well, Gianni. Thank you so much, everyone. We are expanding these positive seeds throughout to the universe. So I appreciate that. And before I give you my final thoughts, just want to share with you our DBDS ambassador Nicole has to say about DBDS. Check this out.
Hey Mel, hey Gianni. For those of you who don't know, I am the DBDS brand ambassador, Nicole Marie. I am here today to announce some changes that are coming within the next couple of weeks. Are you excited? Me too. We have decided to rebrand. This includes a brand new website that will integrate our audio and visual podcasts, blogs, new in-depth videos, more contests, prizes, and so much more. Also, beginning next Sunday, our showtime will change from 4 p.m. Eastern Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's also dope, right? We would not be here without all of your love and support, so we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, DBDS family, for rocking with us and being so loyal. But before I go, I did want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Blitz Bassolino, who is an extremely talented tattoo artist who just did a piece for me. He travels all around the United States sharing his gifts. So if you're looking to have a tattoo done, hit him up on social media or give him a call to book your session today. I did drop his information right along the bottom of the screen. So back to you, Mel.
All right. My sister is not here physically, but she's here spiritually. Okay. Appreciate that. So, and just again, mark your calendars. Starting May 2nd, the show will now be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday. All right. So my final thoughts for today's show is going for instant gratification rarely provides great long-term results. And that's why it's so important to develop time to peel back those layers to see if that person is compatible with you. And a combination of your moral codes as well as time will allow you to feel and see those flashing red flags that goes beyond your personal boundaries. So that way you can avoid these unhealthy relationships and prepare yourself for the right person to come into your life. All right. So once again, thank you to this amazing panel and to the DBDS family.
Take it away, Mel.